Algebra 1A. I know it's week 2, social distancing, but you know what? I'm going to be a mean guy. I'm a mean guy. I'm assigning you guys a test on Thursday. But I'm here to help. This is the review day. So what are we expecting on the test? Well, we're going to be evaluating absolute value. In other words, I'm going to put a number in the absolute value bars. You're going to tell me what it is. And then find the solution set. In other words, I'm going to put a variable in the absolute value bars. You're going to split it into 2 cases if possible, or if there's no solution at all. So it's just 2 things. I'm going to put a number in the bars. You're going to tell me the distance away it is from 0, or I'm going to put a variable inside, and you're going to solve 2 separate equations if necessary. Okay, so see if you guys can do the first 10 problems by pausing this video. Okay, because in the next, we're going to have a second test on this, on absolute value equations and how to find the solution set, but harder, like 2 steps, maybe a little bit more. But the idea is, okay, so you want to evaluate the absolute value. How far away is 9 steps forward? 9. How far away is 5 steps backwards? Still 5 steps. Now, I'm going to take away the steps. What's the absolute value of 3 over 11? What's the absolute value of negative 7 over 22? How far away is 0 from 0? Okay. How far away, what's the absolute value of negative 27? What's the absolute value of 19.28? What's the absolute value of negative 31.85? What's the absolute value of 1776? Very famous year, I might add. I don't think I was alive back then. Another famous year, take away the negative though, the fall of the Roman Empire, actually. Negative 476. What's the absolute value of negative 476? And yeah, a little bit of history lesson with your math. The Roman Empire fell down in the year 476. See, that's all it is for the first part of the test. Just, I'm going to give you a number in the absolute value. How far away is it from 0? And remember, we always measure the output of an absolute value in positive units. Okay, now find the solution set. Number 1. The absolute value of x is 8. In other words, how do I get a distance of 8? Well, the inside is allowed to be 8 or negative 8. Not that bad, right? Sorry about my thumb there. But yeah, think about it. What's the absolute value of 8? 8. What's the absolute value of negative 8? Also 8. There are 2 ways that satisfy the solution set. Do you understand? Good. I'm just agreeing with the voice that I heard in my head, which is totally normal. The absolute value of x is equal to 250. Now, are we afraid of 250 steps? Well, not in a math problem, maybe in about 5 minutes or so when I have to get up. But no, the absolute value of x is equal to 250. How do I get a distance of 250? I'm going to split it up into 2 ways. Either x can be 250 or x can equal negative 250. Come on, black pen. There you go. So either x can equal 250 steps forward or 250 steps backward. Because the absolute value of 250 is 250. The absolute value of negative 250 is also 250. We have two ways of satisfying the solution set. Moving on to problem number 3, the absolute value of x is equal to negative 7. How do I get a distance of negative 7? Well, no matter what I plug in there, the absolute value of 7 is 7, not negative 7. Okay, let's try negative 7. What's the absolute value of negative 7? The absolute value of negative 7 would be 7, not negative 7. If the absolute value bars equal a negative output, that's impossible. The absolute value can never equal a negative. So x has no solution. I'm holding the iPad and writing at the same time, so I took a little stutter step. X has no solution when the bars are equal to a negative number. Do you overstand? And the answer is you should. Number 4, the absolute value of x is equal to negative 770. The bars equal negative 770. I don't think that's not going to fly here. There is no solution because the bars can never equal a negative number. The inside can be negative, but it'll generate as a positive output. But the bars themselves can never equal a negative. Do you understand? Number 5, the absolute value of x is equal to 0. How do I get a distance of 0? Positive 0, negative 0, there's no such thing. It's just x equals 0. There's only one solution. Hint, if the bars themselves equal 0, that means that there's only one solution. Okay? All right, let's see. Now we're in new territory, kind of, sort of, probably, a little bit. I don't know. The absolute value of x minus 12 is equal to 5. Is this problem solvable? Yeah, that's a positive output right there. So what I can do is I can split this up into 2 equations. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put it in green. Don't yell at me. Don't yell at me. I've got a green pen. I'm going to put a big or. Oh, yeah. So then I'm going to get my x minus 12 equals 5 for one part of the equation, or x minus 12 equals negative 5 on the other. Now, I'm going to solve for both equations, but I'm going to start with this side first. I'm going to start with the right. How do I get x isolated here? I need to undo that minus 12 layer by adding 12 to both sides, because negative 12 plus 12 becomes 0 and cancels out. Then 5 plus 12 is 17. Is that the only answer? No. Find the solution set. You understand? So then I look at the other equation. Same thing. X minus 12 is equal to negative 5. I apologize for my hand so close to the camera. So now how do I undo that minus 12 layer? I want to get rid of that. I'm going to add 12 on both sides, getting me x equals 7. Okay. See if you can do problem number 7 and number 8 independently. And make those absolute value bars a little bit clearer. So remember, they're not going to be as thick on the test. I just like to make my notes a little bit thicker for the bars so that they don't look like ones. Okay. The absolute value of x plus 9 equals 13. I'm going to separate them by putting x plus 9. The inside is allowed to be 2 possible outcomes. Either, oh yeah, look at my or. X plus 9 is equal to 13, or x plus 9 is equal to negative 13. So I've got x plus 9 equals 13 over here. Let's solve for the right equation first. How do I get x isolated here? I'm going to minus 9 on both sides of the equation, getting me one of the solutions is x equals 4. Now, look at the other way. I'm going to do the same exact thing. Minus 9 on both sides, getting me x equals negative 22. And I'm going to check my work in the process. If I plug in 4, 4 plus 9 is 13. The absolute value of 13 is 13, negative 22. Negative 22 plus 9 is, get your calculator out, you'll get negative 13. The absolute value of negative 13 is, in fact, 13. So we've got two ways of getting the same exact result. Number 8, the absolute value of x minus 14 equals negative 1. How do I find the solution set for this? Oh man, the bars equal negative 1. If the bars equal negative 1, that's impossible. The absolute value, bars, cannot equal a negative number, even if it's just negative 1. So therefore, what does that mean? There's no solution. You can put no solution if you want, but I like to put the variable. So in other words, there's no solution for x. This is impossible. Okay. X plus 13 in the absolute value bars equals 30. How do I solve this problem? Well, I'm going to split this up into two equations, because the inside, remember that it's a positive output, so that means that I can go forwards 30 or backwards 30. So x plus 13 equals 30, or x plus 13 equals negative 30. See if you guys can solve these two equations separately and independently. I'm going to feel a little bit different. I'm going to do this side first. How do I get this x isolated? I'm going to minus 13 on both sides. 13 minus 13 cancels out and forms a 0. Negative 30 minus 13, that would be underground 30 levels, going down 13 more levels. I'm more underground, so I'm at level underground 43, so negative 43. It's a funny elevator I got. Now, looking at the right, same thing. X plus 13 equals 30. And I'm going to subtract 13 from both sides. X equals 30 minus 13, which is, well, 30 minus 10 is 20, and I'm going to subtract 3 more. That'd be positive 17. So x is equal to 17 or negative 43. Okay. All right, we've got, I think, 4 more problems. I went up to 13. See if you guys can do these problems independently. All right, let's take a look at the absolute value of 7x equals 28. Is this problem solvable? Yeah. So I've got 7x equals 28, or 7x equals negative 28. I'm going to get x isolated because this means 7 times what is 28. Show the work, because solving for x is a very crucial skill. We're going to divide both sides by 7. x equals 28 over 7, which is 4, or 7x equals negative 28. We're going to divide both sides by 7. And negative 28 divided by 7 becomes negative 4. Okay. Moving on to problem number 11. Is this problem solvable? In case you guys had any confusion, it's okay for this negative 3x to be in the bars. If this was negative 24, that'd be impossible. But the fact of the matter is, the output is positive, which tells me that I can split the absolute value bars into two separate equations. Big or. So then I've got negative 3x is equal to 24, or negative 3x is equal to negative 24. And now I'm going to do some algebra. Let's say I start with the right side since I'm in a good mood. Negative 3x equals 24. How do we undo that negative 3 times x? I'm going to divide both sides by negative 3. Leaving me with negative 3 divided by negative 3 is positive 1. We get positive 1x. And 24 divided by negative 3 is negative 8. And the other side, we're going to divide both sides of the equation by negative 3, getting me x equals positive 8. And it doesn't matter which one's on the left side or which one's on the right side, just show the work. Show the work. Number 10. The absolute value of 10x equals negative 20. Is this problem solvable? Nope, because that output is negative. The bars can never equal a negative. So the absolute value bars equals a negative. That's impossible. So therefore, there's no solution for x. Okay, number 13. This one's a little bit tricky. I just wanted to see if you guys can do this. If the absolute value equals 0, is the problem solvable? Yeah, in fact, all I need to do is do x plus 9 equals 0 and solve for x by subtracting 9 from both sides. So then x is equal to negative 9. That's the only solution. Just wanted to see if you guys could handle that. Once again, we're having a test on Thursday. Remember, Wednesdays we don't have math. If you guys would prefer a Google Doc, you can make your own view. You can make your own copy on the view only. You can type your math work on the Google Doc if you'd like, or you can ask me, or you can print it out and handwrite it and scan it to me, or if you want it as a PDF file. Again, email me your preference. Say, I would like it to be Google Doc shared with me. I would like it PDF shared with me. Once again, email me at mjewel@stanbridgeacademy.org. Have a great day.